So this video, I'm making a video, and this video is about the rotator cuff muscles. So first of all, what happens if our rotator cuff muscles are overly tight? We will have number one, poor posture, and we will be limited in movements with the shoulders, and it can even create havoc for the neck and the shoulders. So, what are the four rotator cuff muscles? Ito siya, the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, the teres minor. Yan. So, you wouldn't be able to bring your hand like this if you have tight rotator cuff muscles and the subscapularis. So, we have some tools here that I will show you that you can use to be able to stretch your rotator cuff muscles. So what are the tools? There you go. So one by one, I will enumerate the ones on the floor or the um, tools that we can use to stretch the rotator cuff muscle. So there are kinds of booty bands and different materials. So pwede siyang, it has elasticity. So this is a little, it has more tension than the others. And you will notice that this is more flexible. And then this is midway flexible. And then again, the black one has more tension. And this one again is mid-level. So it depends, even if it's the same color, especially if it's already old, you can notice the other one is a bit longer, just a few centimeters. And so the other one would have more tension. This has more tension because you can see. But the thing is, in a tropical country, when it gets really hot, you have to be careful with using such fabric, the latex, because it can easily tear. So you have to look for niches if there are like minor tears. That's why you have to tell also the people who's going to use your material, better if it's your own material, to not use, well, this circle bracelet, but like earrings, for instance, the back of that can tear, but it won't brush with the band anyway, so that's okay. So these are some of the resistance band, or rather the booty band, like a circle. And then you can also use what's called the yoga rope. So this is a yoga rope. It doesn't have resistance. So before we begin, this is gonna be like a minute video just to feature how you can use materials for the rotator cuffs to stretch your rotator cuffs for good posture and to alleviate neck, shoulder pain. You can also use a tubing. So this is like a tube. It's different. Well, this is actually an old resistance band that I just cut to device, and now you can use it as your resistance band. So it has elasticity. The yoga rope, this one doesn't have elasticity. Okay. A few more before we begin. If you wanna join, you can get a stick. You can use, if you're a beginner, it's better to use. This is a PVC tube that's used for construction. But in gyms, I see the gyms having these types of tubing. This one is also a PVC tube that I just painted. It's much shorter. And then this is an arnis or a martial arts stick. Okay. And then you can use other exercise tools as well for your resistance. This one, I'll begin in a minute. And then this is called the yoga ring. And lastly, well, there are more, but just for today's video, because this is only going to be 15 minutes, so as not to bore you. And if you're going to join the exercises, it won't take too much from your time to stretch your rotator cuffs for better posture, wherein you will see the difference or the improvement in a few days of doing such exercises. So this is called the Pilates ring, or the other one is a wheel. I'll show you which is a wheel. And sorry, this is a circle. So there's also a wheel. So you can call this the Pilates wheel or Pilates or yoga wheel. And this is the Pilates circle or yoga circle. So anyway, I'll just check if there are any questions. Okay, so hello. So let's begin. So let's first use any of the bands that I featured. Hello, Joel. So let's work out, or rather, let's stretch. So this is the exercises are very easy to do. Like for instance, if you begin with a stick, for instance, you begin with a stick. You hold it. The wider that your arms are, the easier. Okay, so let's begin. I'm gonna turn to my side so you see how far you can go. If you're a beginner, you can just lift your arm this way. The stick helps you also with alignment, and it's also a support rather than just lifting your arm by yourself. So having a stick helps to balance the right and the left as well. So you lift one arm, especially for those who had a stroke. So this is reasonable. This is good. This is a good distance, or rather abduction away from the body. But if you can eventually lift your arm overhead like this is good. Until eventually, I'll show you something, but you don't need to do it today. So if eventually you can do a little back, then you just have to be careful. I won't exaggerate first. This helps stretch the front of your body, which gets tight as we're always on a flexion or a forward movement with our day-to-day living. So this counters sitting position and sedentary lifestyle. There you go. Okay, you have to be careful with this though. Okay, so let's do I wasn't able to count, but let's do two more. So I'll show you how you can exaggerate it a bit, but please don't follow with the next rep or repetition or next count if you can't do a back bend. Now to be able to do a back bend, it's good to use a longer stick, to be able to do a back bend. As with other resistance exercises like strengthening, you can also do a 20 stretch or rest rather for rest and adapt. Even with stretching, even if you're not, yes, there is a storm. It's actually the solo room is actually not really flooded, but there's water there. So um, this is the solo yoga room. So I'm going to demonstrate from this room. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. Thanks for joining. Okay, so let's continue. I'll just feature a few more exercises. So after that is I'm gonna feature a shorter stick. This is a long stick. This is a shorter stick. So it's more difficult to align. I'll show you that when I am sideways, I won't be able to do, well, actually I can, but I won't show it anymore. Probably you can lift it here overhead. That's already good. And then just a slight back bend if you can. If not, work your way towards your back bend over the day. So I'll just do 5. This is flexion. This is extension. Extension is not that easy. That's extension. This is hyperextension. So let's do 2 more. There you go. So this already stretches part of my rotator cuffs, or if you're joining me, part of your rotator cuffs, including the subscapularis, which is quite tricky to work on. So you can rest and adapt, and I can check messages if there are any messages. Let's move on. I won't demonstrate anymore the short stick. Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll demonstrate and I'll show a different exercise. If you're always on the computer and always typing, it's better to use the long stick. I'm gonna show you an exercise which is not that easy. It's taken out of yoga. It's from a pose called Gomukasana, or cow pose, not cat cow, just cow pose. So I'll show you the difference of what you can do with the two. So if you're a beginner, I'll show you something that's not too easy to do. In the gym, when you stretch, you go like this. That's how, this is one of the common stretches in the gym that people do, this one and this one. And this one actually stretches the tricep or the back of the arms. Now, in the gym, you can also work with light weights. So you still have resistance. So it depends if you have very tight rotator cuffs. On the average, you can also use 2 pounds, but believe it or not, I have lighter than 2 pounds, like 1 pound. I also have a point 0.5 and a point 0.25, which is really cute. Cute weights, like it. So you can use the weights instead of strengthening because there's no contraction. You can just support your elbow and just use it for stretching, like this. If you're coming out of a stretch, and you can't lift your arm up overhead, what you can do is support the elbow and just slide your arm to the back like this and slide your elbow as such. Instead of, don't follow this one, instead of going like this, if you cannot, if you have injury in the rotator cuffs. Okay, now going back, that's the first part of the stretch that I'm going to teach you with a stick. The other one is bring the hand to the back. Those people who have rotator cuff problems, especially the women, will have a hard time snapping or putting on, or rather putting together their bra strap, unless you're wearing a sports bra. So it would be difficult for them to bring the arm to the back like this. Like this. They might be able to bring the arm just like this already is difficult. So that is the purpose of this stick. Okay, so a few more minutes before we end the live video. So I won't feature a lot of exercise, so it's not too confusing. So what you're gonna do with this stick is you can hold it this way, like that. If you have tight rotator cuff muscles, I use a long stick, like a broomstick if you like. I used to use the table stand. Okay, so and then you bring your tool like this around. So it's like this. And then you bring your hand. If you really have tight rotator cuff, you can just bring your hand here, and it's already a challenge. But eventually, if you can work your way for your upper hand to slide down and your lower hand to slide up. I won't bring my hands together so you can see it, though I can. And so as you come up, you can also slowly bring your hand like so it's not too painful. And then the other one like this. And then remove the bottom hand and bring your hand around. Okay, so let's do the other side. So, okay, how do they do that? Okay, this way. So again, you rotate the hand like this, and the other hand goes like this, and then each one or both hands try to bring themselves together like so. And you can hold it for 20 seconds. It has to be above 20 seconds for it to have an effect. Less than 20 seconds will bring it, will, like in the gym, you just stretch for 10 seconds. It just brings your flexibility back, but you're not really developing your flexibility. So you see, if my elbow is like this, it means I have tight triceps and rotator cuffs. So because you should be able to bring your elbow pointing to the ceiling. So how to come out of this pose is just slide the hand downward, remove the hand, and now with this hand, just bring the elbow down and around. Okay? So I've already taught the stick. And so maybe 10 more minutes. I'm now gonna feature the without resistance first, which is called the yoga rope. Now you can use a tie or a shawl instead. So you can use a tie or a shawl for the next exercise. I'm gonna feature. I'm gonna show you something. You can join me for 5 reps. This is good for your posture again. And so you can bring, if you have tight rotator cuffs, bring your hands quite wide away from each other. But if you are really working on something like handstands and elbow stands, you can bring your hands closer together. But maybe we can do that in the future and just work with our hands apart, uh, which is what most people would like to have, like better posture. And so you bring your hand overhead like this, like what we did a while back. I'm gonna turn to my side so you see. And then you do a little back bend if you can. This is hyperextension. This is extension. And this is flexion. Okay? So let's do four more. Four. Not so slow, not so fast. Three, two, and lastly, one. And you can hold it a little bit longer at the back before it like has a reaction. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and slowly bring it down. Okay. So now we're using without resistance. It's like the stick later on with the with the elasticity rather. And I'm gonna, for you to not get confused, and so you can do this at home in the next days, I'm gonna use the same exercise we did with the stick. Aside from the hyperextension, let us do the Gomukhasana or the innovation of the cow pose. So first, hold your band this way, or your tie, or your shawl, or a rope, and bring your hand like this, and then bring your bottom hand like behind your buttocks or glutes. And if you can climb your hand up like so, until eventually they interlace. Yes, they can. Okay? You will see that with a lot of yogini are the female doing the yoga poses or the yogi. Okay? So, like with me, I'm a yogini because I also do yoga. Okay, so anyway, bring the hands together like so until the elbow is pointing upwards or towards the ceiling. There. If your hands can't reach yet, it's okay. You have more days and every day to work on it. How to come out? You hold it for 20 counts, and first you work with the bottom hand, and when it's free, the elbow can slide sideways. That's the least pressure. Why? Because you don't want to contract a muscle that you are um, bringing to maximum flexibility or your maximum flexibility. So we'll do that with the other hand. You can join me and bring your hand like this around, and then you get the band behind you by your buttocks, and you can climb your hands towards each other until they reach together. I won't do it yet, so you don't feel the need to follow me. But eventually, if I would continue doing videos like this, we can progress together and do intermediate and advanced rotator cuff exercises. For now, let's do beginners or beginner level, and then you move the hand like so. But again, this is just, and then this one elbow comes around. There are so many ways and infinity ways to work on the rotator cuffs. We'll be featuring some today. So don't get impatient with your rotator cuffs. Be patient with it because our goal is for mobility, functionality, and longevity. And so now I'm going to use the booty bands. The booty bands or the tube has resistance. So I'm going to interchange it. If you have something like a rubber band effect, anything that has elasticity, or if you have a resistance band, better yet. Feel free to ask your questions, but after the video, I'll let the live go on for another minute for you to ask questions. Um, okay, so I'm going to proceed with the booty bands. We'll work with the one with least resistance. This has least resistance, medium resistance, the red ones. and the black with most resistance. So we won't work with the red and the black yet with more resistance. Instead, let's work with the yellow. By the way, I'm a PWD, I'm an ostomy, or I wear a colostomy bag, but that should not deter you on working with your rotator cuffs for better mobility for your shoulders, better posture, to free yourself of neck and shoulder pain. So I'm gonna work with the two with the same exercises for now. Later we'll have more variations. So just bring your hand. So this one is more narrower. So I'm gonna turn to my side. You will see that you will be pulling your band more as it reaches the back. So I'll just turn to my back. And so as I pull it, the band goes wider because it's more difficult. And so we'll do three, one, two, and three. So what is your ruler or what is your gauge to bring your upper arm beyond your ear in the future? But if you have rotator cuff problems, your goal now is to bring your upper arm closer to your ear. So like this, eventually like this, and eventually extension. Okay? Before you do a hyperextension. So now, a few more minutes before we end the video, we're gonna use not the beauty band, but the tubing, but we'll do something different. The next exercise, so the first exercise I taught you is hyperextension, the one you bring your arm up. Taught you, the second exercise I taught you is a cow with the arms interlaced behind your back. And the last exercise I will teach you is circling overhead. Think of the word halo. Again, three. Hyperextension. Okay, that's the first. Second is cow. Other side. And the last one, before we end the video, is I will rotate this over my head. But first, you look at your feet. They have to be parallel to each other. I can explain that some other time. So you can just join me to stretch the whole of your rotator cuff muscles, okay? We're gonna think of the word halo. But when you do a halo over your head, if you have that tight rotator cuff muscles, which is quite common if you're on a forward position all the time, like sitting down and sedentary in the office, your circle might look something like this. But what we really want to happen is if this is the radius, think of this as the radius or the center. And so if you make a radius, if you're going around 1 foot forward, you have to go backward, a little bit back then, or with 1 foot to the back or 1 foot sideways. Okay? So I'll just check if there are any questions because we're almost reaching the end of our video. I need some exercises for feet, please. Okay. For the cool down, we'll work on the feet and I'll show you what tools you can improvise with Tobias. Thank you. Okay, so let's end with one so we can feature feet exercises. Depends on your goal. If it's dexterity of the toes or the ankles, depends also if you have an injury, you can kindly type it, but I'll try to integrate both the dexterity of the toes, the feet, joints, and the ankle. Okay, so first, the last exercise is you bring your hand like this. So if you have tight cuff muscles, your circle kind of looks like this because there's no movement in the rotator cuffs. Okay, so what you do is try to bring your hand as high as possible as you can. You can also use your stick, wide stick for this. And so when you circle, if it's 6 inches forward, you try to bring it also 6 inches to the back. But if you can't, it can just be overhead and just do an extension. So this is the beginner level. There you go. If your waist and side of the muscles are overly tight, you can just do like a very small circle and try to pull your tool apart. And so you counter your circle for 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Congratulations, guys. You just did your rotator cuff muscles. Now, before we proceed to the feet, I'll just show you other exercises, or rather, other tools with the same instruction with the previous one. What are the keywords for today? 3. Number 1 is hyperextension. Example, this one. So keywords today, 3. Hyperextension. This is the Pilates or yoga circle, okay? And one more tool for that. This is a little difficult because it's not flexible and it's very narrow. So this is, I'll show you how it goes. So this is the yoga ring. Did the same exercise, which is the hyperextension. Let's now go to the next keyword, which is the cow pose. With the same tool, this is more difficult because it's just short. So it goes like this. This is Bumukasana or innovation of the cow pose. 1, 2, 3, slow 4, slow 5, slow 6, slow 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. Let's do 10 seconds for the other arm. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Now, lastly, we did a circle. So let's use a tool, a different tool. Well, this is actually for the chest or for the legs. It can be this way, or it can also be this way. Any tool, but it's really not a nice tool because it's quite slippery. And this is for the inner thigh. Okay, so sort of time's up, but we'll still do the feet. So this one, I'll show you how you go do a circle. It's actually flooded here, so I don't know if you can hear, where our basement is flooded. So my housemates living in the basement, they're trying to scoop the water out. Okay, so that's a circle. I did 3. Last. This is difficult because it's actually not that light. So if you have rotator cuff problems, even a few pounds can be difficult. So this is for the next videos or in the intermediate level. So let's do a circle with this. I'll show you at the eccentric or an intermediate level. So for the intermediate level, just to be safe, I'll have to close because they're a little noisy because they're flooded in the basement. So they're noisy because they're scooping the water out literally. So this is a little heavy, and so you can bring it. If you bring it 1 foot forward or 1.5 feet forward, you have to bring it sideways, 1.5 feet also, and then around. So this is quite difficult. 1 and 2. Do you need to do 10? 3 sets of 10, the answer is no, especially if you're working on rehab. I work on my specialty are rehab cases, though I used to pull. But anyway, now let's do the feet. Okay, for the feet, you can find a book. Can you please try to find a book to work your feet? I'll show you what tool you can use. You can use this is called knee pad. This is a yoga block. We'll work with a yoga block in substitution for a book. So for those who want to have like feet dexterity, can you get like a book? Or you can also use a rolled towel. This is actually a roller for swimming, but I use it for workout. Of course, we have like thicker rollers, but I'm showing you a few of the rollers we have. This is half roller. So all of these can be used for the feet. Substitution, a book, rolled towel, thicker towel, uh, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna work on the feet. So I'm gonna bring my camera downward. I'll see. I think I can put it on the floor. Okay. Okay, can you see? So we're focusing on the feet now. Before I do that, I just need to see if you have other questions about the feet. About the feet. Okay. Okay, hi guys. Okay. So can you make the feet exercises please for the soles of the feet, and can you put the camera close to feet? Maybe yes, when it's possible, because my, I think eyesight, or oh, your lens is broken and I see bad. I'm like you and I'm really sorry. Okay, so let's do the feet. There you go. Okay, so you can get first easy tool to get is the rolled towel or a rolled shirt. So immediately you can roll your shirt. I don't have a shirt here to roll. Oh, so I'm gonna use the roller. So you can roll your shirt. Sorry, I don't have a shirt, but so roll any tool like that, any, this is for therapy, any like this. So you can use it for your feet. But when I'm talking about the feet, it is a symptom. It can be the calves that's tight, the back of the knee, popliteus, or the hamstrings, or even the glutes. But just to alleviate your pain in your heel, let's work it with a roll tool. And then I'll show you if this is for swimming. You can probably get it for $1. Okay. And then so you go like this and you roll. This is too thin, so I'll just go directly to this. And you can roll and try to curve. Did I say it correctly? I'm Filipino. I'm not American, so pardon my English. I'm doing my best. So you can roll your feet like this, and you can curve your toes. There you go. And then roll your heels. But I'll have to go higher because the heel is only a symptom. And so you go like this. So the heel, the soles of the feet, and the ball of the feet, and the toes. Yes, you still can. So for the toes, you just bring the toes up. Sorry, I didn't wash my feet very well. I walked on flood earlier today. I got me a sandwich. So there, you just press it like you're clawing your tool like that. There, and roll and roll and roll and roll and roll. Okay, I don't know if it's the right and the left. It can also be coming from your glute muscles. You have bad internet. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my cell phone also on data. Is it better now? There's a storm here. That's why I'm making a video. I don't think any of my clients are coming today. But can you hear me? Because I can transfer to another room. Is the internet better? Is the internet better? You have. I need see your souls. Okay. And I need see your souls. Okay. So is the internet better? No, it is not better. Okay, I'll just transfer to another room. Okay, let me know. I'm gonna carry you, carry you. I'm gonna carry you outside. Let me know if the internet gets better. I'm gonna go to a different part of the room. Okay, is the internet better now? Can you check? Is the internet better? Can you give me feedback? Okay, but wait. I brought my tool with me. Let me know if it's better. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let me know if it's better. I'll show you how we can work with your sole of the feet. I also want to find good lighting. Okay, is it better? I need to see your foot soles. Okay, so this is your tool. Let me know if it's better. No, it's not better. Okay, wait. Okay, okay. Now, is it better? I just rotated the cam, or rather the cell phone. See if it's better now. Is it better? Okay. No, not so sorry. Storm here. I think it's the storm. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do to make the most of your time. I'm gonna get close to the camera. I'm gonna make my voice loud. And we're gonna zoom in on the feet. Is that workable with you for the meantime? Until the next snowstorm video. Okay, so again, let's use a tool. I apologize. Okay, so first, actually I'm kneeling, but you can be standing. Please, camera, close to the soles. Okay, there you go. Is that better? It's my cat. There you go. Okay, so you can bring your foot like this and then you roll. Roll, and you can curve your toes like this and you roll your foot, working first on the middle, then the heel, if that's your problem, the heel, and do that to the other side. I don't know if it's both your right and left foot, but this will help. Then you can sit down. You can sit down, and if it is the heel, there's a big possibility that you have a problem with your calves, your ankle, and your hamstrings. So we're gonna do that. Best way, sit down. Yeah, sit down. So I'm sitting down, and so this is your heel, and you can bring it first. If there's a problem with the heel, there's a possibility that there's tightness in your calf. So this is what you do. You bring your rolled towel like this and move your foot side to side. You will probably find stiffness there, not only in your calves, but even in the upper part of your thighs, back of the thighs called your hamstrings, okay? So after you've rolled your foot sideways, you can also bring it a little higher until you reach the back of the knee, and you will probably find that in your calves will be the tightest, or the mount, the this part of the legs called the calves, which is made out of a lot of muscles. And so you can roll, and you can experiment with your foot pointed and your foot flexed. This is flexed foot. This is pointed foot. And you can also work with sideways, and you can also exaggerate more sideways and more splayed open, like ballet, like this. Okay? Okay. I need see the soles of your foot. Oh, the sole you mean? Okay, so I don't know if it's my feet are clean, but let's work with that. Okay, so you got to, the same thing with the other foot. You can just roll like this and then work your roller upward and then lastly upward. So 10 of each. We'll do more exercises next time. Okay, and so for the heel, for the end, I'll just teach you self-massage to have a direct impact on your feet. Oh, slow, please. Okay, so again, side to side, side to side, and upward, side to side. Then, after the side to side, you can also do forward and back, forward and back. This will affect your heel as well. And then, bring the foot inward and flex and extend. This is called flex and extend. And this is called splayed open. I don't know if my feet are clean. And then you push side to side. To side, push, 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 push. Okay, for the end of the video, because my internet is bad, let's just work on acupressure for your feet. Okay, so what you do with the heel, okay, so what you do with your feet, okay, there are different ways to massage the soles of your feet. First, you can do a tapokment. This is called the tapokment. This will help with the circulation of your heel, okay? And then you can also do a circling. So this is a circling that will also help with your ankle, affecting your heel and this one. And make sure you have good shoe wear to protect your feet. Okay? And then you can also get your toes like this and pull it to the back and push your heel like this. Wait, don't leave. Wait, I can't see. You good? What? Don't leave. Make some. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so going forward. So push your heel like this, and then pull your toes like this. Push and pull like that, and then circle, circle, and counter circle. Okay. There you go, and then push. Okay. And then what else? Oh, you can do acupressure and just pull, push the push with your big thumb in the soles of your feet like this. Push and work every milli-inch of your heel, but that will not be limited to your heel. You also need to work the soles of the feet and the balls of the feet. Okay, now to end the video, because it's almost an hour, okay, is to just stretch the calf. So what you can do, you can use a wall. In my case, I'm gonna use a pole. You can use a wall and you can push like this, push. You can lift your foot an inch off and you straighten the back of the knee like that. And hold your stretch to stretch the back of the knee. This stretches the calves as well. Okay, so I really love everybody's company having joined me for today. My name is Noy Pitorge. I'm a wellness and fitness consultant, and I do rehab exercises. Let me know if there's like body parts that you want to work with. I have other channels. I'm not sure if you can post a comment here or you can just chat with me live. My other channel is TLC TLC, Tender Loving and Compassion Bodywork. Loving, Compassion, and Bodywork is dedicated more for rehab, but it's a new channel, so I can't do live there without the subscribers yet. I don't have subscribers in the channel yet, so I can only do live here in my other channel, which features my clients doing pole dancing or pole fitness. So, thank you from Noemi Pitarge. Until my next video, I'll be posting the next body part. We'll be working on probably the glutes. Okay, so bye. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Tobias, for the question.